Nigeria has gone up on the African IMF ranking list. That is, they are portraying the characteristics of becoming the economic muscle of the continent. I'm talking about becoming number one on the IMF ranking list. Welcome to Solid Finance Podcast, and it's Finance with Abbas. On today's episode, we'll be talking about the top 10 African countries based on the African IMF ranking list for 2026. But before I continue, do well to like, do well to share, do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Solid Finance Podcast, for more finance content from us. Let's dive right in. Historically, countries like South Africa, Egypt, and Nigeria have been on the top spots for several years. And if any African country dropped in ranking, it means that it's either their currency lost its value or their industries has slowed down. But in 2025, we saw a massive shakeup. The shakeup that moved Nigeria to number 4 and Algeria to number 3. But in 2026, everything is changing because Nigeria has taken its position back and countries are overtaking countries, kicking some people out and bringing others in. Stay tuned to learn a thing or two from our channel. Angola, the oil players of the continent. In 2026, they have the GDP of $110 billion. Mind you, their GDP has grown by 2.1%. They have a population of 39 million and their economy is being driven by crude oil and diamonds. But in 2025, Angola struggled as the price of oil fluctuated. But in 2026, Angola has gotten a massive push as they've diversified into natural gas. Angola has the wealth, but they are fighting to diversify. While Angola was still trying to diversify, the next country already mastered the act of diversifying their economy. I'm talking about Côte d'Ivoire, the rising stars of the continent. They have a GDP of $1.5 billion and they have grown their GDP by 6.4%. They have a population of 33 million and their economy is being driven by cocoa exports and regional banking. This is the fastest growing economy in Africa. In 2025, Côte d'Ivoire proved that infrastructure game always wins. And in 2026, they are aiming at becoming the Paris of Africa, which is going to attract more investors to their country. Ivory Coast is winning in West Africa, but if we look slightly at the east, we're going to see a country who just survived from paying off their debt in 2025. I'm talking about Ghana, the resilient gold leaders of the continent. Their GDP is $113.5 billion. And their GDP has grown by 4.8%. Their population is 35 million and their economy is driven by gold, oil, and tech startups. After restructuring their country in 2025, they are now using 2026 to capitalize on their rewards. They capitalize on the record of global gold price. They have proven that stability breeds success. Ghana is the shining gold, but the number 7 spot goes to a country who does not even care about gold. They only care about their power projects. I'm talking about Ethiopia, the infrastructure king. The 2026 GDP for Ethiopia is $125.7 billion. And mind you, their GDP has grown by 7.1%, making it the highest between 2025 and 2026. Their population is 110 million and their economy is being driven by agriculture and a massive state-led construction. In 2025, they became the manufacturing hub of the continent. In 2026, their Grand Dam is finally fueling their new industrial era. Ethiopia is building with concrete and steel, but the nation at number 6 is building with codes. I mean a country that can use just a cell phone to pay for their bills. I'm talking about Kenya, the digital leaders of the continent. They have a GDP of $141 billion and their GDP has grown by 4.9%. Their population is 53 million. And their economy is being driven by green energy and M-Pesa. Kenya, the digital laboratory of Africa. They skipped the industrial zone and went straight to digital zone. By the end of the year 2026, 90% of their grid is going to be renewable. Kenya is the king of the East, but as we move into the top 5, I'm looking at the industrial hub of the continent. I'm talking about Morocco. Their GDP is $196 billion and their GDP has grown by 4.2%. Their population is 37 million and their economy is driven by tourism and exports. Fun fact, Morocco is Europe's favorite factory. In 2025, Morocco doubled their car exports. But in 2026, Morocco is a proof that being close to Europe is the cheat code to growth and financial stability. Morocco has the cars, but the country at number 4 holds the fuel of Europe. I'm talking about Algeria, the gas giant of the continent. Their GDP is $285 billion and they have grown by 2.9%. The population in Algeria is 47 million and the economy is being driven by crude oil and gas. In 2026, Algeria is the primary alternative to Russian gas for the European Union. Algeria is the quiet wealth of the north, but the country at number 3 is anything but quiet. They are very loud, they're very popular, and they're very resilient. I'm talking about Nigeria, the reborn great giants of Africa. The GDP of Nigeria is $334.3 billion and the GDP has grown by 4.4%. The population of Nigeria is 237 million and the economy of Nigeria is being driven by refined petroleum and creative economy. In 2025, the giants of Africa face currency pain, but in 2026, this is a year of refinery. Nigeria has silently stopped importing fuel. They are now exporters of oil and fuel. They have the influence in Nollywood and Afrobeat. Nigeria has the population. They have the size, but the number 2 country on the list has the location. I'm talking about Egypt, the gateway of the continent. The GDP of Egypt is $399.5 billion and their GDP has grown by 4.5%. The population of Egypt is 109 million. Their economy is being driven by the Suez Canal, tourism, and by construction. Even with the regional tension in 2025, their Suez Canal revenue has been able to keep them at the top without shaking. Egypt owns the gateway, but there is still a country that owns the title of being the richest country in the continent. Drum rolls for South Africa, financial throne of the continent. The 2026 GDP for South Africa is $446.3 billion and their GDP grew by 1.6%. Their population is 64 million and their economy is driven by mining, finance, and advanced manufacturing. While their growth is slow and steady, I'm talking about the 1.6% GDP growth, their debt is unmatched as they are the anchor of the economy. In 2025, African countries learned that their currencies are very fragile and as such, they try to keep their currencies at the top. They also learned that industry and energy are the only way to remain at the top. The gap between South Africa and Nigeria is closing very fast. Ethiopia's speed is very frightening, and as such, every other country from number 1 to 3 should be prepared. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Solid Finance Podcast, for more finance contents like this. Until next time, bye for now.